Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
And I'm Brett White, and joining us today are senior correspondent at Vox,
Alex Abad Santos.
Hi.
And writer person, I don't know, a writer and actor, yeah, let's do that.
Brandon T Snider.
Brandon had trouble coming up with his
What was
intro.
that?
I just
all
wish
that
somebody
not
else
part of
could
the-
write it. I wanted Brett to come up with something clever to describe me.
No.
Brandon needs a personal assistant to give his bio.
Or just a
So
job.
we're here to discuss Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. As I do with all the Marvel things, I'll have us give our overall opinion of the movie up top. Brett, what did you overall think?
Aggressively mediocre. It just felt like Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. And everything that I love about the Ant-Man movies, they forgot for this one.
Alex?
What a slog. A slog that radicalized me against white women.
Brandon?
I like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
It was good to see her. It was comforting.
Yes.
But the movie itself there were like some fun things, but it was boring.
Yeah. Overall, I didn't hate it. I know, like, some people saying it's like the worst Marvel movie. I really don't think that. But yeah.
Eternals.
Yeah, Love and Thunder
Not in
with
a
like
world-
a word.
Love and Thunder is good, so we're not going to get into that.
Oh my
but
God, Brett.
yes, Love and Thunder is actually fucking fine.
Oh, wow.
It is an action comedy.
Whoa. Is it? Because I didn't
Wait.
laugh.
I laughed all the time, especially coming after Multiverse of Madness. Jesus Christ.
Wait. I want to know, do you find child soldiers funny? Is that what it is?
man.
That's Brett's favorite thing. No, but wait. So
I love when they turn into child soldiers.
That was a funny bit because they actually made them all terrifying with the lasers coming out of the bunny eyes. That was fun.
But we all can agree that Eternals is the worst. And I don't...
Man,
Twitter's been doing the thing Twitter does, where now that it's on streaming, people are like, "Oh, people didn't appreciate this movie," and it's like, no, it's not good. Like,
well, it's better to watch on television where you can turn it off every 40 minutes and act like it's a new episode the next day.
That's a very good point, actually, Brett. Maybe I wouldn't hate it as much.
Yeah, it felt like an HBO limited series or something.
Eternals is beautiful, the beautiful gowns of the Marvel universe, but there aren't even any beautiful gowns in this thing.
No, they put a celestial being. That's Michelle Pfeiffer in rags.
Yeah,
they're like, just throw this tarp on.
I don't know why they didn't give her a costume, because she looked fantastic otherwise. Like,
It
even
really
that gray
does.
wig, she looked good in it. It looked like a stupid wig, but like she made it work because she looks great. And like I was like, why don't, like, sure, Michael Douglas, fine, he doesn't need a costume, but like, why didn't she get one?
It is crazy because she is the titular Wasp in this movie. Because the other one doesn't do anything.
Considering the fact that the Wasp in the comic books is a fashion maven. Like, and none of these wasps, none of these ant people even have a closet, it seems.
Well, so I don't know if you guys noticed, they did try to give Janet Van Dyne, like, when they show her in like her corporation, they're like, they tried to do some kind of fashion forward shit, and it looked like such
with Hope?
Hope, yeah. I was like,
also that haircut,
it's so bad.
That aggressive elementary school mother haircut from like South Carolina, like it's that, like, why did you give my son a C? Like,
He's been doing all his homework, and you need to know that. I also, because like in the first movie, or wait, was it the second or first that she had that bob?
First,
yeah.
I didn't like that bob, but looking back, that was better.
Bob was
I would have
amazing
taken the
compared
bob.
Yeah, way
She
better.
had the short pony in Endgame.
Yeah, that I think works best for her. I think the short pony actually wasn't a wig, and that's maybe why it worked best for her. Because like that was the hair she had on Lost. But also, yeah, I had a lot of trouble with her because of what we know about her. Hands
it
up.
seems like Marvel had the same problems with her that everyone else had because she has 8 lines and maybe 4 frowns the entire movie.
I was going to say if we thought that she was a little bit sidelined because of that, or just
Wait, did you read that thing that I think it was in Variety that came out today that was like had a clip or a quote from a podcast that she just went on that said that when all that hubbub was happening, that she got like a comforting message from Peyton Reed saying
Yes.
no one's gonna fire you and Marvel is fine with it and all that stuff. Where I'm just like,
because I wonder if Marvel PR is like, what the fuck did she say?
Technically, she said, or Peyton Reed said, the rumor didn't come from us.
oh, which is
Technically,
not.
that is what was said.
Weird,
So
comforting.
Yeah. And like I really liked her previously. Like I will say, right? Like, and Kate was one of my favorite characters on Lost, which is also one of my favorite shows. And I remember when she was in what the fuck was it? The Hobbit movies where she was. Yeah, I remember being like, oh shit, she's good in this. We should have her in Marvel. She's so good. She was always my dream casting for Jessica Drew, and now I have a lot of trouble with her. Like, and I think she's having trouble with it too, because it felt like this was extremely phoned in for her. And I can't tell if that's because I don't like her anymore or because it was, or both.
Or because, were any of them in the same room filming the entire thing?
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen... I mean, honestly, it makes Attack of the Clones look like a play put on in a black box theater. Like, it is so... Got it. Yeah, it might be good. It is so CGI-y and also bad.
Yeah.
It is... So, I don't know. Like, it is either... I cannot tell because, okay, when you see action figure photography on Instagram, and like, they're in the grass, but since you understand how perspective works, you can tell like, oh, they're trying to pass that off as proportional grass, but it's actually taller grass.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a kind of like uncanny valley tilt shift kind of feel. And the entire movie had that. So it looked bad. But then I'm like, well, since it is the microverse, is it intentionally bad looking? Like I couldn't tell because it did look like they were all tiny. Like most of the time when they were on screen, you saw their full bodies, which is really how you would show that someone is tiny. But also it just looked bad. So I don't know.
It looked so bad. It looked like a PlayStation cutscene.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 1.
Oh God, especially the scene with all the Scots, all the possible Scots. I'm like, Patty Duke show did this better. Why does this look horrible?
Now, for those of you who are listening, Patty Duke
is Sean Astin's mother and John Astin's wife. No.
Please go stream Valley of the Dolls, which is one of the best movies that Patty Duke has ever created.
Wait, Brett, was that true what you just said?
Well, yeah, Patty.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Patty Duke, she slept with 3 men in the same span, and she wasn't sure who Sean Astin's dad was.
Get it, girl.
She was Mamma Mia.
Yeah. And it was Desi Arnaz Jr., John Astin, and then a random concert promoter, and it ended up being the concert promoter.
I can't believe that actually happened in real life.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't know that. Yes, so
this is what I'm here for.
I will say, normally when people have the critique of like, oh, the CGI is so bad, I'm always like, it's fine. This was the first movie where I was like, ooh, this is distractingly bad. And this is such a small thing. But the scene that bothered me the most was when like Michelle Pfeiffer and Wasp and Michael Douglas are like standing and like that, like the like ragtag misfits come up and Michelle Pfeiffer has to approach the guy. That genuinely looked like there was no one next to each other. Like everything looked like a bad Photoshop job. And like I couldn't get into the scene because I was like, this looks like people in different rooms standing in front of different green screens.
Also, I don't know if we want to get what the fuck was going on with MODOK. He looked like an Instagram face filter the entire time.
I
know he's supposed to look weird, but God.
See, I feel like with MODOK, I mean, like I felt like it was if anyone was supposed to look completely messed up, it was MODOK. So like I didn't mind the face stretching, but I also was trying to think like, did Corey Stoll, like, it looked all CGI, his face to me, right? But like, why couldn't they have done something where did the face stuff and then they just like stretched, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It looked like his entire face was flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like there was no depth to it.
Yeah.
But it's
Correct.
like ostensibly he has a nose. Like it's not like they removed, like it just looked like all flat and it's very weird.
I didn't mind the like face shield part of it that came.
No.
You know
that
what I
looked
mean?
better. That looked better.
He shouldn't have been bald. Like, I don't know. That choice was kind of weird.
Well, why would Corey Stoll grow hair in the quantum?
No,
verse?
just put a top on him. He's a can. Put a top on him.
I would not have known that was Corey Stoll, like, because it was so weirdly stretched. And I think they knew that, and that's why every single character had to say Darren every time they saw him, because it just looked like a weird, gross whatever. And that is the one thing where I'm like, is it supposed to be that stupid because MODOK is stupid, or was it supposed to be stupid but it looked worse because the effects were all bad?
I think there was just a lack of effort being made for MODOK, because it's just like, you can make that looks like, someone said it earlier, it looked like a Snapchat filter. It looks like a Snapchat filter, and you're just like one of those things where you just have like little eyeballs and it talks to you, and I don't know. Like, I think it looks like one of those.
It's like Brian Jordan Alvarez already did this. Like, last year. My thing too is that I think is kind of funny is that, like, 20 years ago, all of these things that we're seeing on screen, we would be like, oh my God, what a magical wonderland. But like, now we're like, ugh.
I'm sorry.
blob.
No. I feel like Avatar 1 looked much better than whatever happened
Well,
to Quantumania.
Okay. I
Brett,
can see that.
Brett, you mentioned Phantom Menace, and that's all I kept thinking of during this whole movie was a Phantom Menace. Because, like, Phantom Menace didn't technically look bad when it came out, but it still looked like just like a CGI set, right? It was obviously very green screened. And I just don't understand. Like, I know that Marvel's cheap. I know that Marvel doesn't pay people well, but I don't understand why an exec wouldn't have looked at that movie and been like, whoa, this looks bad. We need to redo. You know, like, sure, you're cheap, but then you see your movie and you see that it looks bad. So why wouldn't you be like, okay, we got to bring people back in, you know?
It made me actually think, I was like, well, how many people did Disney lay off? How many were working on Ant-Man and The Wasp Quantumania?
Yes, because, and I said this to Brandon when we were texting, I don't blame, like, the writer or the, like, effects people, because I know Disney is just like, all right, give me, turn this over in a day, and, or you're fired. So I know that it's, like, not probably their fault. I can't imagine looking at this finished product and being like, yeah, we nailed it. We got it.
I think that too, like, with different things, like, I mean, you know, you're brought on to write this type of movie. Like, there are going to be things that you have to hit. Like, it's not like you're like, give us you're not allowed to go wild and tell your own story. Like, there are things you have to hit and, like, things to line up. And this just felt like a movie to get to another movie. Like, I
don't understand why there was no character stuff, which is wild, because I think the first two Ant-Man movies are all comedy and character comedy stuff. And whose movie is very Phantom Menace problem? Whose movie was this?
Right.
Like the fact that they
Cassie's movie.
Oh God.
Cassie, that stupid bitch.
I also do not understand how everyone in the Marvel universe is just either average intelligence or the smartest person who has ever lived.
Yeah, that's another thing that really bothered me, because we never, like, that wasn't even brought up before, that Cassie was this, like, science genius.
No.
And, like, I'm not sure what age she's actually supposed to be. Like, I was like, is she, like, mid-teens? Is she, like, college-age teen? Is she, like, 20? But the fact that she could build something that brings them to the quantum realm and was
insane. That, like, Hank Pym couldn't.
And, like, that's the top of the movie. It's not even like a build-up. It's just like, yes, here, I am a science genius.
There was a lot of, like, also at the beginning of the movie, her calling Hank Pym, like, Grandpa Hank and stuff. And I kept being like, wait. Like, what has happened in the interim that all of a sudden she now views...
Where's Judy Greer?
Yeah, like, her dad's girlfriend's parents she now views as her grandparents.
Brett, this is a story about found family. It's about chosen family.
But I'm also like, Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer were blipped for 5 years, so how strong is that relationship? Have they known each other for a couple months? Like, how much time has passed?
Wait, do we know where this movie is? And do we know where it is in the timeline?
Oh my God.
Like,
Okay, so this is the other thing that makes me so fucking angry is, can we establish which of the many, many, many times the multiverse has been introduced or fucked with for the first time is the real time? Was it in Loki? Was it Multiverse of Madness? Was it No Way Home? Or was it here when at the end Kang is like, they've discovered the multiverse? I'm like, this is the fourth time that they've discovered the multiverse.
Yeah, I kept thinking of, in terms of that, I kept thinking of, wow, remember in Loki when Sylvie blew up a timeline and it was a big deal for the end of that episode and then didn't fucking matter? Like, so I don't know what it feels like. It feels like they have a beginning and an end and they're just filling in the middle and like, we'll get there. Like, it really feels like they know where they're going, but they don't know how to get there, which, like, I've had that problem with my writing too, but I don't have Marvel money, so.
But see, in those first couple phases, though, it seems like this. They know where they wanted to go, but they weren't on that path yet because it wasn't laid out. So they could do these movies and have it, but they didn't have to introduce elements in every movie that line things up. They did some things and then it all congealed and then we had Endgame and, all that. But like now it seems like the format is so connected that they have these benchmarks. It's like they've finessed it into an actual like routine thing that they can make happen. And I'm like, well, there's no spontaneity. There's no surprises. I was surprised by nothing in this movie.
It's like very deeply uninteresting. Deeply uninteresting. And then it's just like the whole entire idea of the multiverse, which should be fun and silly and like introduce so much stuff, right? Like so many possibilities, because that is what the multiverse is. It's so charmless. Like the whole, it feels like a chore when someone tells you about, you're like, uh-oh, here we go again. Here it comes. Another multiverse thing.
Streaks of lightning all running parallel with branches branching off of each other. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's like, don't show me that fucking image again, because sure, I did, like, give me an actual, I don't know, like, show me something. And I don't, even in Loki, I remember being like, I'm not quite understanding what's going on with these timelines. Because it was like people were dying, they were blowing up, but then it didn't matter. And the continuity is starting to really fall apart here, because it's like you said, it's like, don't reintroduce the multiverse 85 times. Like, do it and then keep going, but like it doesn't feel like they're doing. It feels like they're like
the Avengers
around it.
Group text and Spider-Man text everyone, "Hey guys, multiverse exists." So Doctor Strange and Ant-Man are like, "Okay, cool, got the memo." Like, now I have that to deal with.
I like to imagine it's more of an email. Hey guys, like just like a really, and it's like, and he forgot to BCC, so everybody sees everybody's email.
Hey guys, just circling back to the multiverse email I sent everyone that no one replied to.
That would even be more interesting to me.
Yes.
Than what's happening.
My mind just went down this rabbit hole of like, well, of course, Luis, Michael Pena's character, would be in that email. And then I was like, oh my God, why the fuck do you not like imagine Michael Pena's character in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like then there you go. The movie is all of a sudden interesting because no one in this was really reacting that anything was really that weird. I mean, like even Paul Rudd, who is all charm, was no charm. No funny.
I will say I was still charmed by him, but that's only because that was not the movie's fault.
Were you charmed by him just because of the absence of charm? So much the negative space of charm that everyone else took up.
I think that I've just had a crush on him since Clueless, so it's like I'm never not. It's like I appreciated the thing. The like only thing I will say that like I kind of appreciated was that like he was a little jokey, but not that jokey, and like we were allowed to have like it felt like this is what they were trying for. They didn't quite get there, but like trying to make it a more like, oh, this is a serious threat. The problem was the threat wasn't there. The characters were more serious about it, but the threat just was like, I don't really know. Even like I'm not quite sure what Kang's plan. Even like aside from, I know he wanted to leave and conquer, but like what?
Mhm.
I don't know. Like that feels a little generic. I don't know. And
Well,
like,
stay tuned, true believer, because you're going to love Avengers, the Kang Dynasty.
in 5 years,
With
I know.
Rama Tut. With Rama Tut and Immortus, Scarlet Centurion, Iron Lad.
Brandon.
The entire gang's all here.
Yeah,
All the Kangs.
I
Saturday
All of
Night
the
Kang.
Kangs. All of the Kangs.
A Saturday night Kang bang.
Oh my God, yes.
do that movie. That movie I might like better.
When can we start talking about how much I hate Cassie?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
please.
Okay, why is she such a dick to her dad? Why is the entire movie about how this lady or this teen is a dick to her dad?
Because he was gone for 5 years and she doesn't know what that means to her.
What?
I didn't
I
even.
don't
It
know.
didn't even really bother me that much, just because I don't know.
Kept saying like, I'm not proud of you, Dad, and then she'd fucking smirk and get herself into more trouble, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
that
she's
is
like,
that is
she's like,
accurate.
she's like, fuck you, Dad, and then Kang is like fucking killing her, and she's like, oh, I guess I said something bad. Like, and it's just like, you're such a little dick. When who goes to jail like that 3 times? 3 or 4 times she went to jail.
I wish they would have gone
Yeah.
harder with the jail thing, or like shown her to be like a real fuck up, like where she's like banging she's like really fucked up, where it's like, oh God, like she's gone down. I mean, she's in San Francisco, so like I
No,
want
it
to
would have been
see
funnier if they put her in prison. Lock
Yeah.
her up. Lock that bitch
lock
up.
her up, lock her up. And then they can put in a line at the end and use the word stature, and then it'll all be like, oh my God, that's her journey. Now she's stature.
I was waiting for that.
I
For
know, me
that,
too.
like, Janela or whatever to be like, we're so glad that someone of your stature came to save us or something.
Oh my God.
Thank God it didn't happen.
Also, she yelled "Dad" way too many times. Like I felt like there were a lot of beats that were repeated because again, I don't blame the scriptwriter. I'm sure he had like such a tight deadline, but like it did feel like we wrote some scenes and then we were like, yeah, just copy and paste it for the next few scenes. We need a longer movie because she yells "Dad" so much, and like everyone is like Darren every time they see MODOK, and I
It seems
counted.
like
There were 4 or 5 different times when someone said, "Oh shit," which like we know for these Disney Marvel movies, that's like as cursy as they're gonna get. But it was like, what? Come on, we're using the exact same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Like,
How many times did she say, Dad, I'm not proud of you?
yes. Also, yeah, in the car, that like car scene, she was like really mean to her dad. Like,
If I had said that about my dad, who didn't even save the world, he would have stopped the car and fucking beat the fucking shit out of me if I even started with that.
Okay, when I was at D23 and they showed what I think was the first trailer, the plot as presented in that trailer that I thought the movie was going to be was Kang was going to offer Scott Lang the chance. Oh my God, Kang and Lang. He was going to offer Ant-Man the chance to reset the last 5 years and get all those 5 years back with
right.
Cassie. That is, and it was like, you want this, so help me, but helping me will destroy whatever. Like, I kept waiting for that because that seemed to be clearly what the first trailer was, and there would actually be, I don't know, character interest, some stakes to that.
It would have been like Flashpoint, right? Like it's a whole Flashpoint idea. But yeah, instead we got this. We got the Amazon version of whatever this is.
Do you think that it actually...
Maybe it changed in...
I mean, it could have, because they've done stuff like that too. I mean, even just talking about Doctor Strange and WandaVision, and how the fact that, like, WandaVision was supposed to come after Doctor Strange. So they had to retool Doctor Strange to make Wanda, like, stuff like that, where I'm like, I understand that they have so many working things and they want to give people opportunities to tell the stories that they want to tell, and then other people get shortchanged. But, like, what a shitty way to produce something.
Yeah, again, that's why, like, I go back and I'm like, but someone watched this movie and was like, yeah, got it. Like, and like all the complaints.
I think you're giving people too much credit. Do you really think that someone watched this movie and was like, sure, Kevin, we did a good job?
Well, I mean,
do you really think that's someone? Do you really? I doubt that. They're somewhat. Maybe it was someone headless. Maybe it was someone who.
Someone from the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like someone probably saw it was like not our best work, but you know what? Here we go.
Well, because I feel like that's exactly why the Marvels suddenly was pushed. Like, I feel like they were like, and that's why shit is.
Well, and
pushed.
also just smart, because 3 Marvel movies in a 5-month span is insane.
Yeah. It feels the way I feel right now after this like phase that we've been going through is that, like, all of the complaints people used to have always had about Marvel movies that weren't always true, that, like, they were all bad, they were just action, they were poorly written, they had bad CGI, they were just placeholders for the next thing, I would defend and be like, that's not true about all the Marvel movies. Now it is becoming true of all the Marvel movies.
The craziest part about this Marvel movie is that it, you know, the whole criticism that all Marvel movies are the same?
Yeah.
This movie is basically, if you strip down, like, if you stripped Multiverse of Madness for parts, if you stripped Guardians of the Galaxy for parts, and maybe some of the first Doctor Strange movie for parts, and smash it all together, that's what this is. And it's just like, oh no, another kid that's smart, that has like a special power of the multiverse. And it's just like the last part where she like comes back to find them, right? Like, you know how they're stuck in the quantum realm, which I thought was going to happen. I was like, wow, that's actually interesting. If they get stuck there.
Yes. And then nope, she solved it.
And then nope, she did the old America Chavez. I almost said America Ferrera because I love Ugly Betty. America Chavez trick at the end of Multiverse of Madness, right? Like she just punches the thing and it's like, whoop, guess we're all back together. I don't know. I think leaving them there would have been a far more interesting prospect.
So like, the entire last 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, okay, so Hank Pym or Janet Van Dyne, one's gonna die. When are they gonna die? One's gonna die. You're not gonna keep them on retainer forever, and like there has to be some sort of stake. Nothing. Nope. All fine.
Silly brat. Why would you think?
Very
one
weird.
would think if you were enabling an anti-vaxxer QAnon woman, leave her in the quantum realm.
Yeah, good.
Leave her in the QAnon quantum realm.
Cassie's like, I saw your Instagram. You can't come.
She likes freedom so much, she's going to have to fight for it.
Pick herself up by her bootstraps.
Also, it seemed like in the first 2 movies, the quantum realm was like an inhospitable.
Yes.
And this one is just like, oh, cool, we're fine. We can breathe. We're walking around. It's all good.
Brett, thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot I wanted to talk about how much that bothered me. That, like, there was a bar with Bill Murray. Like, what? They made
Star Wars.
Like, they previously, it was like an uninhabitable like space, right? With like no place to put your feet down on, and like you're just floating aimlessly. So it just felt like a complete rewrite to be like, oh no, there's like bars, there's like
Michelle Pfeiffer
houses.
was fucking down there, man. Looking up left and right.
Like I was trying to at certain points think about like, okay, so like the quantum realm is endless, but it seems like everything, it's like a 20 block radius maybe of how, like, where are they going? You know what I mean? Like she gets her little cruiser and whatever, and she's flying around. But like, how do you know where anything, like what kind of map exists of an infinite space?
Yeah, it just that I don't understand. understand why we had to do a complete rewrite of it. Like, or there could have been a line of dialogue, right? Like you said, Brandon, it did feel like a 20-mile radius. Maybe they're like, oh, that is the one inhabitable 20-mile radius of the fucking quantum realm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just all of the sci-fi stuff felt like very not well planned out. Like all of the sci-fi stuff just felt like, and then a wizard did it. Okay. Like
just leftover Star Wars props.
Yeah. That like really bothered me. And then I was thinking, I was like, maybe I missed it that she says it in the other one, but she didn't. And also Michelle Pfeiffer, like they all have reason to be annoyed at her, right?
Yeah, she should have said that in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, guys. There's a really bad guy down there.
And like, I liked her. She was probably, her and Kang were the best, like the standouts of the movie. Like I thought they were like the few that were very enjoyable to watch on screen, but like, yeah, they would all be like, I would have been so mad at her. Like, why the fuck wouldn't you have told me there's this conquering like warlord living here? Like that seems important information to tell everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's tired and she just wants to move on.
Just like first scene, it's like, oh, Cassie, shut that down, please, because there's a conquering warlord in there. You know, we deal with them quite often. It's not fun.
Well, no, it just seems like you need a more compelling thing than just like, oh, Michelle Pfeiffer has been carrying around this long ass secret for a very long time.
I get her not wanting to talk about it outside when she's out because trauma, etc. Right. But as soon as it's like, oh, wow, now we're in it again, you need to like spill.
You need to shut that down.
Your family's in the trauma.
Yeah.
She should have taken a brick to that stupid Cassie machine. That's what I would have done.
And also, they were unclear until
you're late for soccer practice. Go.
It was like unclear why they wouldn't have told Michelle Pfeiffer that they were building this because like, so Michael Douglas and Wasp knew about the quantum realm thingy, but they didn't tell Michelle Pfeiffer or Paul Rudd. And why the fuck didn't they tell Michelle Pfeiffer? Right? Like, I get that we're doing some weird shit with like, also Ant-Man would have every reason to be mad at them because like that is his child that they are letting do all this shit.
I mean, they really love secrets. This family loves secrets, just like every other Marvel family. Just like Odin and his secrets, just like his secret daughter, dad, his secrets, all the secrets. Odin had so many secrets,
and like, but that tracks for, you know, the gods or whatever, because Odin was terrible. But like, and also the other thing, and I know this has been going around Twitter this weekend, why the fuck was this movie so dark?
Well, that's more about the general trend of everything in general.
Yeah.
Of every piece of art in general.
Oh, did I watch a Vox explainer about this?
Oh my God.
I think I might have.
Alex, tell us.
I didn't write that one. It's this thing that's been going on, and it's just
like they make every movie now to be watched on the most advanced like visual and audio experience. And then for all of us plebeians, they then just like mix it down and dumb it down for us. And so if you see Ant-Man and the Wasp, like I saw it at the press screening in IMAX, and I don't know. Well, I guess I actually did think it was dark.
I was there too. It was fine. It was fine.
It didn't seem. Oh, it seemed kind of blurry, which might have been my eyes. I don't know. I was crying. No, but no, it seemed fine. Yeah. So I think, but if you go see it, if you don't want to shell out the money to go see it with us rich people, then you're going to see the shitty version.
Well,
yeah, it's like whatever. I was going to go. I saw Wakanda Forever on Screen X, which is this terrible gimmick at Regal. It was $25. Like 20.
What does it do?
It like there's certain scenes where it just gets projected around you. Like everything is projected around you. Like the whole entire you're basically get stuck in the scene.
You are in Wakanda?
You are in Wakanda.
Forever?
Forever. Like the quantum realm.
Huh.
Okay.
It was weird because sometimes the movie was bright, but then most of the time it was too dark. And like even the images that are going around Twitter of like this is what it looked like before they did. Is it color grading? Is that why? I thought it was just like they were turning down.
Also,
the
like you
brightness.
have to like take it that with a grain of salt because Twitter loves to do that. They also love to do that with like
That's
DC
true.
movies, and you're just kind of like, wow, here's a viral hit. Why isn't stuff more colorful? And
Yeah.
it's just like, ugh.
But like that opening with Michelle Pfeiffer and Jonathan Majors, I was like, turn up the lights. I can't see. Like I really like. And there was too many scenes like that. Like that was my big critique of Wakanda Forever is that when they were in Telecon, I could not see shit.
Oh, that's
and I was
yes, that was very, like very, very, very dark.
Yeah, and like I don't know, and I mean you're
I
right.
think that makes sense though, right? It's like under
Yeah,
the
it's
water.
underwater.
There's
Right.
he had to bring the sun down there.
Sure, but also we're in an underwater town where people are able to breathe and live and have wings on their ankles. It doesn't need to look dark because it would be dark down there. You know what I mean? Like there also wouldn't be a man with wings on his feet down there.
So maybe bioluminescent fish down there.
Yes,
That's what you want.
Exactly. See, there you go. You solved the
You
problem.
should send an
Alex.
email to Kevin.
And like the thing about the CGI that like, you know, I know people keep saying this was kind of like Rick and Morty, and it like I guess in a way was because of like the weirdness of the sci-fi, but this sci-fi all felt flat. Like everything felt, even the like I don't even know the names of any of those people they encountered that were like the rebellion.
No.
I couldn't tell you one of their names, and all of them also felt flat, except for the blobby dude. The blobby dude was the only one I liked.
The one who liked the holes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're both obsessed with holes. Jeff Loveness, who wrote for Rick and Morty, and so like you can tell, you know, obviously like why they hired it, but like, and then like the humor wise, I think that I don't know. I've been thinking about him a lot just because I was like imagine you get this gig and you're excited, but you have to accommodate so many things, and it's like fun accommodating some, but others it's like not so much. But I think like, I feel like he probably did as best he could, but like you don't have there was no time to explore anything like with these people.
No.
Like I would have loved to have just like, can we get a Disney Plus spinoff with just like quantum realm people? Just like, I would take just like a family drama with like Ooze person and, you know, whatever it is, just make it like completely bizarre and
And
abstract.
Chidi Adeganywe.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the weird, like, oh wait, no, so they know humans exist, but these people are not humans, but I mean they are humans.
Right.
So how did they get there? Are there like generations of humans that have evolved out? Like and also all the little light-headed people that were Kang's people, I was like, well, they're robots, but then they started like talking and having slight personalities. I was like, oh, I guess they are beings? I don't know.
Brett, I have a question.
What?
Who was the person who was like the robot person that had the light head?
Oh, no one.
Okay.
None of those characters are actual people, except that, which it also frustrates me.
But the broccoli guy in Marvel.
Oh no, the broccoli is an X-Men reference.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the broccoli people that Dark Phoenix killed.
Oh,
Which
She
I did
ate
like.
them when she ate the
Ate her
sun.
broccoli.
That was what the aliens looked like on that planet. Yeah.
And then the Jintara, like the lady warrior, is like the same name as a character from a Hulk story arc, but like it's not her. They did that thing.
And who was the?
Wait, what was Chidi's name? I just called him Chidi.
He was Kaz or Quaz.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was.
Oh, I found that funny that people not people, it was like a CBR article or something that was like thought that he might become Quasar, and I was like, okay, all right. Like they're not going to just like debut Quasar. Like I was like, I think that anytime there's
how
a
much
character
does one have to sell their soul for CBR? And so I was like, here's this little piece of shit thing, and I'm gonna fucking sell my soul maybe and throw this galaxy brain.
They'll make
dumb
$20.
I know.
Yes,
I know.
Oh right, because Brett, you and I have talked about this because that's why I'm never like I don't rag on them because it's not the writer's fault.
Oh no,
it is 100%.
Because
Valnet, I do not like Valnet.
It sucks. Brett and I have both written for CBR, so yes, they're.
I mean, I was a full timer, and they ruined my life.
I feel like it's gotten like I feel like it used to be kind of like here's the thing, here's an explainer, right? And it's like but now it's just like it just seems like such like a grab for clicks.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Have they not written like his telepathy means that mutants are coming? Have they written that? That seems like how they treat everything.
The problem I
Yeah.
will say is I'm sure that right now, because I work at a company that does like headlines kind of like that shit does work. Like it gets all the clicks on Facebook. It drives all the traffic. So like, I know it's like, you kind of have to do a stupid fucking headline if you're writing that kind of stuff.
Right.
And like,
but I feel like an unbased, this might be Quasar.
That's
Here's
wild.
my theory. Like,
Because where all
fucking,
the
like,
Quasar
grow
fans coming in.
up. Grow up.
grow up.
Fucking, like, if they played like an X-Men theme or some kind of Easter egg, that's understandable. But here's the fucking yeah.
Sorry.
Wait, can I tell you the one thing I did like about the movie?
Yes, hit me.
The ants. The ants are the best part of this movie.
That one little diversion was really fun. I like that.
The whole fucking part where he's like, I've heard this signal and it's been the ants the entire time. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Give me
I
that.
like him.
Yeah, I did like him.
I mean, I'm also like predisposed to like any older man who wears nice suits and stuff. So I've always, but I was glad that Hank got a little hero moment in this, because
The
this
Ant
version of Hank is
Whisperer.
horrible. Yeah,
The ants were so good.
I didn't even think Michael Douglas would make it past the first movie in terms of just wanting to be involved. Like, do you know what I mean? Where you're like, he's probably like, I'll do this thing and it'll be fun. And this one, I feel like he was doing more than he's done anywhere else. Like he's running around, everybody's running. And look,
Yeah.
I know that
him
there
and
was
Michelle Pfeiffer's movie.
I mean, I know that there were like some body doubles, obviously, like, but like they did some jogging from A to B.
They did some jogging.
They really did. I mean, Michelle. I mean, because like also like when I think about things like it's got to not be fun to be in doing all that shit.
Wait, there's a movie on Netflix right now that I think just came out that I just like, you know how like when you open Netflix, there's like the trailer that auto plays, and they auto played a trailer. There's like a movie about that where it's like about making a movie. It's a movie about making an action movie that's all green screen during the pandemic, and it like cuts to a scene of them like, and it's like Pedro Pascal's in it, and a bunch of other famous people. And it like literally cuts to a scene of them pretending to run, but they have to run in place because it's a green screen and they don't have enough room to actually run. And I was like, this is probably how Quantumania was filmed.
Yes.
I will say, yeah, let's talk about some things we did like. I did like both Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas in this and was glad they finally gave them stuff to do. I wish they had costumes, especially Michelle Pfeiffer. So at least Michael Douglas was wearing regular people clothes, and her, it was just like a fucking tunic. I don't know. I did like them. I will say I enjoyed them. And like, I mean, clearly they're good actors. It's not like even if they like hated doing this movie, they're still good, right? Like, I feel like they're not actors that would like be bad at acting.
No, I think they should not be allowed to do any more movies after doing this movie.
I wish they would have given, okay, so like they skimped on character stuff, but like some of it feels like it was like so easy. They could have just layered it in and given it a little bit more. Like I think that it would have been an interesting choice to have Hank and Janet be horny for each other. Now, hear me out.
That
This
makes
thing
sense.
of like, you know, we've been going through all this stuff and then there was the blip and we go back and forth. It's just being like, she's back now and like they've rekindled something. So everything is like an innuendo or, you know, she's like cutting a piece of pizza and he's like,
Oh, they're like Jonathan and Jennifer Hart on Heart to Heart.
I mean, Brett, of course, is, but yeah, like just anything that was like that would make me think that these people are into each other. I mean, like she was gone for decades. Like I would hope. I mean, and too, like Michael Douglas. You know, we know his history with women. We know what he's into. I want to see. I want to see some of that reflected in, like, you know, their relationship. Come on.
I did like the tiny beat we got, and I was surprised because this is like, I feel like racy for Marvel, because everything's always devoid of any sex.
Right.
I did like the scene when it's like, ooh, she was sleeping with Bill Murray when she was down there. And she's like, listen, I had needs. It was a long time. And Michael Douglas is like, oh, yeah, I slept with this one lady. It just didn't work out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they actually let them write that scene? Like,
Yeah.
because, in no world is that actually racy.
But they didn't say sleep with, though. They talked to her. They did not, because I remember.
You're right.
They said they did take out the sort of sex element to just, I'm sure to make it more PG-13 than.
Yeah.
But
you're right, because they just like they say it without saying it. You're right.
I would have wished Michael Douglas would have just gone through a list of sexual things that he did while she was away.
Oh yeah.
I also would have loved if they were like a running gag of Michelle Pfeiffer being a terrible cook. Of Janet being a terrible cook because she doesn't know how to cook anymore because she spent all that time in the quantum realm eating slugs and ooze.
Yeah.
And she was just like, and just being like that, being like, wow, this pizza's fucking gross. What the?
Yeah, really, you'd be a real weirdo after 30 years down there. You'd forget all sorts of.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we're supposed to chew with our mouths closed down here.
She hasn't salted anything in a very long time.
She just is like, wow, I really miss ranch dressing. Like I miss the first.
Oh, a woman after my own heart.
Barbecue chips are a delicacy. Also, were they married before she disappeared? I can't remember. I know they were together. They were married. Okay, they were married.
Have hope out of wedlock.
Oh, right.
Oh my god.
Can we talk about I want to talk about Scott Lang's book because I am professionally jealous that somebody actually was paid to write as Scott Lang and then publish a book. I think that is, if you're going to do a licensed tie-in book, I thought that's pretty cool. Now, I haven't read it. I don't know I don't know what the quality is. I don't know what it really contains, but I thought that of all the sort of ways to monetize this.
Oh, wait, they did release that book? Wait,
it's coming out. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I don't work at a bookstore anymore.
I have no idea who wrote it, though, because it's not on any of the listings. So I was like, I need to put out some feelers and be like, excuse me, who actually wrote that? Because I would like to write the next one.
Do you guys remember Lost did that? There was a book they put out and it was by the author from the show.
Oh.
Because I worked at Barnes & Noble during that era and literally you could not, couldn't find who it was actually by because it was a fake book in the Lost universe that was a sci-fi book that one of the characters liked. And that author was their favorite author. And then they published that book under that author, that fake author's name. Yeah. Because I remember being like, but who wrote it? And it wasn't listed anywhere in the book, at least. But yeah, no, I do like shit like that. I did like that we saw that shit tickles me. I get a kick out of stuff like that, where it's what's he doing now? The Avengers aren't really around anymore. There aren't really, we don't know that there's even an Avengers team officially that exists anymore. So I like the idea that he's still an Avenger, but have they done anything? He's writing a book and, we know he has his podcast from Ms. Marvel. And that shit I do like. I get a kick out of that. They could have leaned more into that for me.
Well, you couldn't lean into it because Cassie's such a fucking grump about it. You know what? You don't want those royalties, Cassie? Fucking live on the street. Live in the quantum realm.
Is the quantum realm going to pay your bills, Cassie? I also, this is going to sound stupid I know the movie's literally quantum. It's not called the quantum realm, but it's called Quantumania. I could have used a little bit more setup in the Earth. Of the character dynamics.
Oh, yeah, they jump right into it.
Yeah, and clearly that's the inverse of Multiverse of Madness, where they go to one multiverse and just stay there for most of the movie. And it's can we do other ones? The whole movie's about going to different ones. But I just felt we needed a little bit more. It reminded me, and this is going to be a curse thing to even bring up, it reminded me of X-Men: The Last Stand. How we see Angel sawing off his wings, and then we cut to the credits, and then everything's happening, and then characters are dead, and it's just things are happening, but it's not. It doesn't feel like you care or there are stakes or anything, And I always feel like that's a bad sign when a movie very seldomly does a movie that gets all the like action right at the top and continues with it land for me. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what I liked about this movie. I didn't hate anything, but I didn't love anything.
I
mean,
love
the
anything.
ants cutaway about them living thousands of years and advancing technology was a really fun cutaway. But
was
even
so
like
good.
the whole alien, I like because I can appreciate the joke, but it did feel kind of pandery of like, this is the kind of humor that Marvel movies do. So put an alien in here, he'll be obsessed with holes. Later on, he'll get shot full of holes and be. I don't know. It just felt kind of, like by the numbers in a way. But I still liked him. I don't know.
I mean, I think what I liked is a little bit of that, and also like the whole idea of like absurdity of like even like the MODOK stuff. Even though a lot of like, even though it looked terrible, Corey, my beautiful bald man Corey Stoll looks so terrible.
It didn't look like him.
I do love like the idea of putting MODOK in there, and I wish they kind of just pushed it further. It was just like, if you're going to be this crazy, do it more. It's just like,
it didn't. It really stood out.
Yeah,
like
right.
Every single time Kang and MODOK would share the screen and be like, "Oh, these are two different movies."
Yeah,
this is so very strange.
The MODOK, it just did not. I don't think it looked like Corey Stoll. Like if they didn't, even when they said Darren, I was like, who the fuck's Darren? But they give you that flashback because they knew that you wouldn't be able to tell. So we got the flashback to him.
I mean, I could tell because I love Corey Stoll.
All right, Alex, keep it in your pants.
Oh, me? Do you want to go down this road?
I just like being able to reverse it for a change.
Wasn't even that man. He's so cute. He's such a dork. He was in Hacks, and that he was on one episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I love him. And I can't have a little boner, a tiny little boner for Corey Stoll, who has actually been in things.
I mean, you can keep your little boner. That's fine.
Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. I remember Corey Stoll's face.
No, but so I just
know Jeff Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 6 or whatever.
That name sounds so threatening. Jeff Ward.
Isn't that his name? JJ Ward or something? Sorry, if you're listening, JJ Ward, we love you.
JJ Ward is listening right now.
Ian loves you so much.
He does.
He was really disappointed when you died in Hacks.
Name of a guy that like leaves a message on your voice. Hey, this is Jeff Ward calling your car is ready to be picked up. Before I forget, what's the guy from I Think You Should Leave? I was very pleased to see him.
Yes. I mean, but I wish that hadn't been like in every trailer, but I did think that was cute. I did think that was like cute, and I did like that we went back to him. And I realized he was Ant-Man and then charged him for the food. Like,
yeah, I appreciate it. Like, I understand why they used him in the trailer now.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, what about this? Huh? We'll bookend the whole movie with these two fun bits. How about that?
Do you boys, I feel like you boys know more about this shit. Do you think something like that, it's like they liked him and I Think You Should Leave, and they're like, let's get that guy, or like he did audition and got it? Like,
I think they probably
I always wonder with shit. Right? Okay.
Yeah, I think that,
I feel like knowing, like, also too, again, like Jeff Loveness writing it, like, I feel like he is somebody that would probably look at and write something or, you know, I don't know, like Ant-Man, if there's ever going to be a place, like, since it's sort of like the comedic franchise of the, you know, they're going to be looking for opportunities and to connect with the young people. What are the memes? What are the hot memes? We'll get one of the meme people. That's my impression of Kevin Feige, by the way.
One of the meme people.
We'll get one of the meme people. Where's my hat?
Show me the memes.
So I think the first two Ant-Man movies, I think what you got and what I really loved about it was just like the whole, like, and I know it's such like a dumb gimmick, but I like seeing big stuff turn small and small stuff turn big. Like I like seeing like a chase scene. Oh, yes.
Okay.
That is very, well, not like that.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Uh-huh. But you know what I mean though, like the chase scenes, right? When stuff would get really tiny and like it's just like the whole
really
visual
good car
surprise.
chase scenes. Yeah, really good action scenes.
And then it's just like there's no visual surprise in this movie except fucking Ant-Man, Cassie, and the Wasp getting big and small. That's the only time they get like you could play with that whole entire like I get it, like you want to like make the quantum realm the star, I guess. But it's just like you could have played with all of that stuff. Like make stuff super big, make stuff super small, make like do something visually interesting with
make the
what's going
holes
on.
alien, make him huge. You want to see a big holes alien?
Yeah.
Big holes alien.
Jesus Christ.
And we haven't seen yet a thing where Ant-Man is like has some sort of malfunction where it's like he has a big arm and like a tiny leg. You know what I mean? Like I agree with Alex in that the quantum realm is like the place where you're going to experiment with size. Like you're gonna like what?
Experiment with size.
No, but I mean, like, why not have a thing where like things don't work properly, and he throws one of those discs, and like, or somebody throws one at him, and it hits him in his arm, and his arm turns small, and his, you know what I'm saying.
I actually did think that with Cassie. I think because like Miss Marvel is so like fresh in my brain, or kind of fresh, that I was like, oh, she's gonna make her fist really big when she punches Kang. And then I was like, oh nope, wrong character. But like,
wait. This podcast is already done. I like when small things turn big. I like what was it? The experimentation
with
big hole monster. Experimentation with size. And no, she's gonna make her fists big.
She's gonna fist Kang. Because like right, they could do that. Is that a thing? I don't know. Have they ever done that?
It also seemed like, to get nitpicky about their size changing powers, I thought like the suits are what changed size. So when him and Cassie were shrinking and growing with their helmets off, I was like, that contradicts. Doesn't that contradict everything we've seen?
Oh, was it the helmets that usually did it?
Well, no, because the Pym particles do not make their bodies grow. Like they make their bodies in the suits grow. It's like a contained kind of thing. I also probably to keep their organs from flying around. So it was just weird to see them all of a sudden. Also to see Scott Lang being bigger than we've ever seen him before. Hey, which I think in the last movie he got that big and it was really hard. So I don't know.
Kill me.
I'm just saying their powers worked differently, and they could have leaned into that and had some size fun.
Well, it's like why is that one scene from The Boys more visually interesting and like funny than anything that happened in this movie?
Oh God,
which scene from The Boys?
The dick.
I don't know. The scene from The Boys. I don't know. Where one man turns really small.
If you described it.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh God, watch the season premiere. It's like in the first 10 minutes.
Yes, but like that is even more interesting than anything that happened in this like 2 hour. It's so long. Why is this movie 2 hours? Why does it feel? How does it feel like it's 3 hours?
So
I don't know.
That was what I was going to bring up is something you brought up, Alex. I was going to ask because I know people rag on the Ant-Man movies and like I feel like they're like generally regarded as like bad. I always think they're fun. Like,
yeah, they're fun.
I don't think people think they're bad.
No way. Are you kidding? I feel like that's like the thing on Twitter. Like,
who are you? No.
Yeah, forget Twitter.
You guys listen to you read too much Twitter. Do you know who's on Twitter? Fucking losers.
I literally, all of us. I literally just saw a tweet that was like, "Relax, all the Ant movies have always been bad."
Alex has a lot of nerve calling people on Twitter. Whatever he just called us.
Listen,
I would never. No, we're all losers. I would never. If I was like, I wouldn't even. Yeah, what? I would never base like any kind of like worldview based on something someone on Twitter said.
All right, Cassie, relax. What I'm saying is I know people IRL that like hate those movies. I know people that don't even see them because they think they look stupid. And that like people that like Marvel movies.
Well, then they haven't had fun.
Really? But you're saying people that like Marvel movies are like, that looks stupid?
Yes. Because they feel they don't like connect to the other ones, so they don't matter.
See,
wait. Hold on.
Well, they got their wish.
I just thought of something. So Ghost, no one cares anymore?
Oh no, she's in Thunderbolts.
Yeah, but like no one cares. No one's ever like, hey, what happened to that girl?
She was in Quantumania, but she was invisible the whole time.
She was there.
Those were her footprints in the living sand.
God. But yeah, so because I just wanted to make sure, because like I think they're fun and that formula worked. And like removing all of the fun characters, like the side characters are fun, right? Like they were fun in those movies.
I mean, Michael Pena. See, that's who I thirst after in this franchise, and I had nothing.
Go on, girl, give us nothing. I love her lack of energy.
And like I don't know, we could have at least Michael Pena could have been there, right? If we gotta like reduce it down to one, him and like, is it like the Russian guy who I think voiced the Blob, right?
He voiced the Blobby guy.
Yeah.
Oh, David
Like
Dastmalchian.
Because they brought him in an episode of What If, so it's like, all right, well, you're still like talking to those guys, so like, why not? Like, I feel like of the like human sidekicks, they would have been the ones that like I'd be like, yeah, have them just happen to be in the house they get pulled into, sure. Not that this movie needed more characters, but like it needed more interesting, fun characters. Yeah, because the thing I was gonna say is like I don't feel like, the thing I always say is that I like the Ant-Man movies because they're like fun heists and it's not the world is ending, blah. Like we get too much of that too often, that I do like a little like self-contained, low stakes, fun action, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know why Marvel is kind of like, nope, go back to everything being world ending.
I just want them to like actually get rid of the idea that everything has to connect. I'm like, I've reached that point where I was like, it doesn't have to build. Just let each.
I feel like that is what most of Phase 4 has been, and I've liked that. And then people are like, Phase 4 sucks, but it's like Shang-Chi mostly stood. Black Widow stood alone. All the TV shows like Falcon Winter Soldier pretty much stands alone. Like they kind of were doing that, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. They're just like making movies, and now we're back to everything connecting, and I think it could be a problem. I don't know.
It just, and like, I don't know. I know that people have like critiqued Marvel for that, but I don't know. There's something to be said. I don't mind the comic bookiness, right? I don't mind if other characters are breezing in and out, but yeah, it's the story always having to build that bothers me. Because like, I like, you know, Adam Sass has said on the podcast that Marvel shouldn't be worried about continuity. I do love the continuity. That's like, as a kid, that's all I ever wanted, was like a zillion movies all in the same universe, because that's how the comic books are, right? And there can be shit that doesn't, you know, like, yeah, sometimes it depends on, you know, the Avengers arc with Sentry. I love when Emma Frost has to go in Sentry's mind. And, you know, I thought, and like Emma Frost is used differently because she's not written by an X-Men writer. She's written in an Avengers book. So she's not, like, her whole thing is she's not as like vicious as she normally is, but like, that's fine. It's a different writer. It's a different book. And that's the thing I don't mind. If like, we need to like use these characters for what we need them for, if this isn't their movie or their show, that's okay. But yeah, it doesn't have to be the story's always building to the next story, because that, like, this is a very good example of that, because, right, a lot happened. Kang's compound was huge. He had all these guards. He was very powerful, but I don't know, like, right?
Wait, tell me what you think about Kang, because I literally could not tell you why he wants to beat up everyone.
Okay, so the thing that actually confused me most with Kang was, I don't understand what happened at the end. Like, I don't know, when he gets sucked into the thing, I was like, so is he in a different,
dead apparently,
but
I don't
know. Was that sucking him into a different universe, or just like killing him?
What was it?
I think he even got smaller, right?
Oh,
I don't think that's but
he got sucked into like the next level.
Yeah, that's it. He got sucked into the next level.
So it's like the quantum realm's quantum realm.
That's why you don't experiment with science.
Kang's motives weren't there for me. I mean, I thought we were going to get this, but we didn't. I really thought it was going to be that Janet and Kang had like been fucking, and then she realized he was evil. I kind of would have liked that.
Yeah.
And then she knew. That's why she liked it.
Right.
She likes a bad boy.
I thought they had good chemistry. They did, right?
They did.
I think they're just very, very good actors too.
Yeah, they're the only people doing anything. They
Yeah.
might have been in the same room with each other.
Yeah. And like I think that would have been a little bit more interesting to be like that instead of Bill Murray's whatever the fuck character he was, which really made me mad when he says, "Well, I am a human, but not officially." And it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
know.
Like,
I need more information. This is so weird.
But like he was ostensibly saying it in his alien language because they were all drank the ooze so they could talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
right.
So there's a word for human in the alien language, but like ostensibly he's been stuck in the quantum realm with only one human.
Well, it felt like the humans that were there weren't humans. It felt like they were like trying to allude to like, oh, they just look like human, but like,
Yeah, like how Han Solo's a Corellian.
Right,
You know?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
I always forget that, Brad.
Yeah.
Or Leia's an Alderanian.
Right. Yeah, they're not actually like quote unquote human.
They're not Earth.
Well, it's
Um,
about representation
Human representation.
in the quantum
Yeah.
realm.
Even and like, you know, I know we have learned that Bill Murray is a piece of shit, but even that, like, aside from knowing that, like, didn't work for me at all, because so we learn he's a character that Janet had a romance with while she was in the quantum realm. We didn't even get like a beat of him being like, it was like he was bad and double crossed her right away. And
Yeah, very quick.
I felt like we should have gotten a little bit of like build up or like
I also
maybe,
didn't know when the timeline
yeah.
when did she first encounter Kang? When did she first like hook up with Bill Murray? When did the resistance start? What was she in the middle of doing when Hank and Hope rescued her? Or when Hank rescued her in the last movie? Like,
Because like if she was going to the bathroom, that would be very awkward. Like there was like shit like that. Like I don't know. But so Kang, let's talk a little bit about Kang. Jonathan Majors is a good actor, but yeah, it's kind of like he was used better in Loki, which I didn't love. I didn't love that ending. He was used better in Loki, I thought.
Mhm.
yeah. I think he did he's a really good actor with no I haven't brought this up yet, but everything was Cobra Law, right? Sorry. G.I. Joe movie, the animated movie.
Cobra-La, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Cobra Law, because of all the organic technology and having to stick your hands in things and pull out squishy stuff. The Kang, like, it was kind of that level of quality. And then Jonathan Majors, it's like casting Jonathan Majors as Cobra Commander in the G.I. Joe animated movie, which actually is really good. So, I don't know.
Brett,
Yeah.
I really haven't heard that name in so long. I was like, I don't know what that is. And then you said G.I. Joe, and I was like, I do know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cobra, la, 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 la.
Yeah. This is a podcast for Globulus stands.
Yes, or Pythona. God work.
Was she she was the only one that
Pythona-
didn't put a figure out of, right? Because I really wanted
of
him.
course, because she was a woman.
Right.
But like the first 10 minutes of that G.I. Joe movie were just Pythona breaking into the Terror Dome and just murdering people, jumping around,
Oh
flipping
my
in her little
God.
scaly bodysuit.
When she takes off, like when she lets that hair flow, I was like, you are everything,
yeah.
miss.
And she's holding that ruby later on to give to the Zartan. Honestly, it kind of looks like what Gia Gunn, that like weird purple bodysuit that Gia Gunn wore. Like, she kind of has that energy.
I'm Googling this because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. and-
Pythona.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Just
Alex
look
is
up
like, I'm too
Cobra Law,
young.
Cobra Dash Law.
Cobra Law Pythona, baby.
And you know
Guess
what?
what? There's a lot of demon art.
Of course. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, Pythona is an icon, and
She's giving
come on.
glamour. She's glamorous.
I mean, like the eye makeup, the bald with the one long ponytail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, Nemesis Enforcer, when he was wrestling with Sergeant Slaughter, and then Sergeant Slaughter starts pounding on him like, "This is for Duke." Ugh.
Yeah.
This is for Ugh. And it's actually kind of sexual the way
erotic.
he like crunches his sternum.
I am impressed with how much you remember from that.
I have watched
Oh.
the G.I. Joe animated movie multiple times. It's every 4th of July, actually.
Why?
Patriotism.
Oh my God. I used to actually love that for like the opening of the G.I. Joe movie, that music.
So
As
it's
a
so
boy,
good.
my friend Jason and I used to like it wasn't exactly that we danced to it, but it was like we
Routine.
rocked to it.
Oh yeah, it's like dashing through the night comes a fearful. See, this is how interesting Quantumania is I have completely sidetracked to just talk about. Man, who ever heard of being shot down by salad? That's a good quote from that movie.
I will say,
whoever mentions me being bad luck again gets a knuckle massage.
No,
Another good quote from that movie.
The best line, and one that I like to use very often, is "I was once a man."
I was once a man.
Alex, did you jog any memories when you Googled this?
No, I'm still looking at Pythona DeviantArt right now.
Yes.
I mean, work.
What is her? She has a cute little snake thing.
She has like a little like 6-pronged snake thing that she uses as a weapon. All of her weapons are like weird plant-based, like spore-based weirdness.
Okay.
It's very Quantumania.
I'm plant-based. Using that in this context is humorous to me. But true.
Yes. So
the whole movie's about spores.
It is.
And I'm going to bring up one more thing about Kang. I need to know what everyone thought about the mid-credits and post-credits scene. Because I love Jonathan Majors. He's gorgeous. I think he's a good actor. But boy, all the different Kangs did not work for me.
You did not like the Kang bang?
I did not like the Kang drag. It was like giving me like straight guy doing drag for the first time. Is like
it was a lot.
She went there.
Okay, so it was really dark.
Michelle Visage. I cannot believe that you just called Jonathan Majors Maddymorphosis.
Oh my god. The Ramatut, I mean, anyone's gonna look weird in, that Steve Martin headgear.
Yeah.
And then Immortus had me worried, and the scream was really dark then because I could not tell. It just looked like Jonathan Majors had like a Fu Manchu and was doing something very, like Yellow Peril, even though I know Immortus is not that. And also Jonathan Majors is not that.
Right.
And so it was weird that it's like, well, you guys didn't have to like give him that weird raspy voice. And I think of Fu Manchu, and but again, it was really dark. Maybe I saw things I did. It just made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know.
And also the I don't know if there's a name for the other guy. The one in the metal suit felt like he was doing like faggot drag.
I think he might be Scarlet Centurion, but he also might just be an adult Iron Lad. I don't know.
Could be that, yeah. But like that one felt like he's pursing his lips a little too much for this. Like it was like he was like, this one will be gay.
Yeah.
But also like all the Kangs, once they all started pumping up, it just looked, I don't know if it was him. I don't know what it was, but it looked too silly for me. Like I was like,
it was a disproportionate reaction. What were they reacting to? Just going to war?
Yeah. Also,
what war is this? Is this the war that He Who Remains started or stopped? Like I don't know what.
Right, because
I think it's the one that he stopped because he was like, if you go by his logic, he was pruning them, right, and then just was streamlining it so that he's the only one that could remain or whatever.
Yeah,
and so like since he didn't stop them, all these other, I'm assuming this is the way the story goes, but it could be just bad writing. I'm assuming then that's how the other Kangs start happening.
Oh, well, also Marvel's doing a good job because Kang is supposed to be impenetrable. So good, thank you, Marvel. You've adapted that well. So, like, if it's kind of like an Ouroboros kind of thing, He Who Remains was the only Kang, and he actually says, like, "What if you kill me, they'll all come," or something.
Yeah.
Because now his death in Loki created all of the Kangs, and then retroactively they'd always existed, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know why him getting out or staying in the quantum realm has any say in anything.
I thought it was that they all already existed.
Well, I think that like the way like when He Who Remains dies, then they all of them have already existed, have always existed, right?
Oh.
Like everything just like fills out.
Like it's like the start, but also the end.
Yeah, or something, right?
Something like that. I don't know.
I don't
That
know.
is the way I was interpreting
sense.
it. I don't know. I feel like because he's eliminating all because he was the TVA was eliminating all of the stray branches, they were also eliminating the possibilities of those stray Kangs.
So do we think that Kang Dynasty, or whatever the last movie of this phase is going to end with He Who Remains teaming up with the Avengers to destroy all the Kangs, and it'll start over back where he's head of the TVA again?
Okay, wait. One of you just let out the funniest sigh.
Is that
It was
Alex?
me. It was me.
Because yes, that is how I feel. Because like, yeah, Brett, you even described me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Is that what's happening? I don't know.
I'm holding on to a thread here.
But I mean, Brett, this is what you said earlier. I feel like is that how like it doesn't seem to matter because it felt like the end of Loki was the start of all this shit. Now it feels like this was the start of all that shit, and it's like which one is the one that mattered? Like,
yeah.
And like
if they're happening simultaneously, then that's okay, cool.
And like, yeah, I mean, they probably will eventually get there to like explaining it more, but like, and I don't think I think Kang seems like a more fun villain than Thanos, but like with Thanos, it was
no, absolutely not.
Counterpoint. You thought Thanos was a fun villain?
You know what's a fun villain? A villain you can understand. He has 6 shiny stones. They're all cool. He wants to ruin the world. That's a fun villain. You know, it's not a fun villain. Whatever this is happening.
Well, and so also like this version of Kang isn't theoretically dead or off the table. So now does that mean that like Rama Tut is going to be the villain of a movie?
No, please.
Or Immortus?
Well, Ian loves a fun villain. These are the fun villains.
Okay. So can I finish, Alex, or are you going to rudely interrupt me to tell me why I'm wrong again?
I'm going to rudely interrupt you because Kang is not fun right now.
Because
Kang should be fun. He's not fun. But also, like, in the comics, he's so whiny. He's the whiniest man in the comics.
I'm muting Alex so I can finish talking. So the thing I was going to say is that Kang is more fun, but Thanos made sense. At least we knew what Thanos' endgame was. We knew he just wanted to get the stones and get his Infinity Gauntlet and fucking kill everyone.
Yeah.
Half of everyone.
Yes, half of everyone, right. And so like that to me is... Ooh, Alex, it's not letting me unmute you, damn it.
Oh no! What the fuck?
What the hell's going on? It won't let me...
I've been censored for my views. This is not a free speech podcast that I was.
But like that's what I was saying, Alex, is that at least with Thanos, we knew exactly what it was like. Very easy to be like, yes, he just wants these stones. And with Kang, it's like I have no idea. Even in this
how
movie,
is that fun though?
But no. I don't mean that's fun. I mean like acting wise. I feel like
the performance is fun. Like it's cool having an actor there because again, Thanos was a
like
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, like Thanos was like a CGI like brick.
He was good. He was good,
and he looked cool. Like they did good on his CGI, I do think. But like I just like Thanos for me wasn't much of a character, if that makes sense. Like it was just like yes, he just kind of like stern and whatever.
I mean, but like I feel like Thanos was very clear and very driven in that part of his. I mean, we also saw his backstory. We know that. Like I feel like Thanos was pretty developed.
Oh yeah, I think so. But
yeah, no,
Kang ain't there yet.
But I just mean that, like, for me, Thanos, like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I can watch him that purple Balchin act. Like, it's not like, oh, he's like doing good in this scene with Michelle Pfeiffer. He was just kind of like villain, right? Like, I feel like because Jonathan Majors, I find him very charming. I think he's like just like enjoyable to watch. But again, the villain part is like what we need to like. It feels like we have a half-cooked idea as to what Kang's plan is, and that so does Marvel, and they're just like, yeah, we'll figure it out as we go along. And like, I don't love that.
Well, I do think it is kind of an interesting thing that we don't really know Kang's full thing yet, and he's a character that has had more monologues than anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like, even the like final cutscene, which I was surprised to be surprised, which was nice to see Loki and Owen Wilson.
Mhm.
But like even that, I was like, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I know that it'll be explained in Loki season 2, but I was still like, but what? Why are I don't understand? I didn't understand from the end of Loki season 1 why the next season would be like, now we're hunting him in the past, because
And also why Mobius wouldn't recognize him, because there's a huge statue
right,
of him in the
yeah,
TVA now.
yeah.
So that was also weird, but I don't know.
Do you think
Yeah.
do you think that scene was just from Loki?
That's
Yeah, that's
Because
definitely.
I was
a
like,
scene
oh,
from
this is like this is kind of like they're like, just throw this at the end and give them a little something.
because they've done that before.
yeah. Didn't they do that?
It's usually scenes from future movies, like the end of
Was it the first Ant-Man that did
the
that?
end of the first Ant-Man was like Sam Wilson being leading into Civil War. I know a guy like
Oh,
who
yeah.
can break into whatever. Yeah, so yeah, they'll do
And like, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I'm like, what else did I like?
The gowns.
Beautiful. The gowns weren't even that great.
No, they were rags.
This is Michelle Pfeiffer. I do hope. Did you guys see that Michael Douglas did give an interview where he was like, "I'll come back if I die."
Oh no!
Wait, he's like,
What?
I'll come back one more time if I die.
Yeah, he was like, "If my character dies," like he said, he wants his character to die.
Awesome.
Oh.
One more. Hank Pym's last
I
ride.
thought you actually meant that like Michael Douglas was gonna like die, and then
No.
like he gave them the rights to hologram him,
Oh my god!
Like if
which would be really funny.
like if the actor died, he was like, "Yeah, sure, put me in the movie, whatever. If I'm dead."
yeah, he
Okay.
was like just hologram me and give the money to my
Oh
estate.
my god!
Give my money to
I'm
Catherine
like, can you
Zeta-Jones.
imagine? She's like negotiating.
Yes,
She wants that
absolutely.
money, honey.
Listen,
Oh my gosh! Imagine if Ant-Man Quantumania had a cell block tango. Oof, that
Oh,
would have been
that'd
so
be great.
good.
all right. I guess we're at the end here. Anything else anyone else wants to say about the movie before I have this
Go
one?
get vaccinated no matter what Evangeline Lilly says.
Yeah.
Believe in
Bill,
science.
get all your boosters.
Uh,
I got all my boosters.
Science
and
is very important.
I didn't get COVID at my first ever drag show, which I think there was COVID there. So
You think that there was COVID there? Or do you know that there was?
well,
COVID
no,
there?
one of my friends got
Oh.
COVID.
Oh.
and you think
I don't know if it was at the club, but also if you pack like 100 gays into a tiny bar, odds
You'll
are,
get
right?
something.
So we
Yeah.
we all got to hang out for my birthday, and I don't know how I did not get COVID after that. I was
Oh,
like,
Oh
right,
my
yeah.
god!
Oh.
I thought the
I
same
was-
thing.
I was walking around Stonewall drunk, and I kept saying to Zach, we're both gonna have COVID tomorrow, and he was like, yeah, we are. But then I did not, and I don't.
Well, there was that
It's-
one like crasher who had her head on the table, and I was like, she deaf as COVID.
Alex,
Oh,
Al-
that train wreck.
I think every one of you were like, who is she? And I was like, I don't know. She's just here. There wasn't anyone I invited. It was just like a random
Yeah.
girl.
You know that scene in Devil Wears Prada where Stanley Tucci talks to Emily Blunt and he's like, and Miranda Priestley's coming in through the elevator and he's like, who is that? And like he's like pointing at her. That is what everyone did to this one
Oh
Yes.
no!
person.
Because she was like getting into your photos, making you take selfies
Wait,
with
is this
her.
the other girl that had a birthday?
No. I think that might be who Brett's thinking of. That girl
Okay.
was fine. She was
Okay,
nice.
okay.
No, I mean I'm thinking of a girl who was like wasted.
Oh,
Yeah, she was wasted.
then maybe it was that girl.
Yeah.
I don't.
like-
I was also wasted. So
She was far more wasted at a much earlier hour.
yes, she was wasted the moment we saw her. But yeah, no. So Alex, what was your favorite part?
The ants creating basically an ant Wakanda was my favorite part, and it was only 3 seconds long.
Brett.
I mean, I liked Hank Pym getting to save the day.
Yeah.
Kaminsky Method Hive rise up.
Brett, would you say that you like the ants too?
Oh, absolutely. I just wasn't going to say the same thing you were saying. But they're in tandem.
Brandon.
I like whenever Michelle Pfeiffer would look over her shoulder and purse her lips just a little bit and squint.
Mhm.
I couldn't tell if. Is this mean? I couldn't tell if she was pursing her lips or that's like how her lips look now.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I mean, no, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it either way.
She is somebody too. I'm like, she could do whatever she wants. I'm glad that she hasn't gone too far with facial reconstruction.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think I would, for her, like she's a timeless, she is a celestial being now and forever.
No, Chris Pratt is half of one, right?
I don't know her.
I think Michelle Pfeiffer was my favorite. Michelle Pfeiffer was absolutely my favorite part. I loved seeing her because I was always bummed. It's like, you have Michelle Pfeiffer and you're not using her. So I was glad to see. I wish she had done more. I wish, along with Hank getting to save the day, I kind of wish, like, when Kang had her in his, like, throne room or control room, whatever the fuck it was, she kept looking at the one guard's gun, and I was like, oh, she's gonna kick the shit out of Kang, but that never happened. But Michelle Pfeiffer was my favorite part. And I just have to say, I read a tweet from Adam. I just happened to open Twitter while we were talking. And Adam Sass said that every time Evangeline Lilly tweeted or posted on Instagram, they gave one of her lines to Michelle Pfeiffer. What grade do we give the movie, Brandon?
How do you grade in Europe? Like, is it numbers or is it like, I just want to like try to like give it, I'm just, I would say
Grade in the quantum realm.
I don't know. I don't even know. I'm going to say a C.
That's fair. That's more than fair.
Yeah.
Alex?
I would give it a C-, which is basically an F if you're Asian.
I love when you add that into your grading. Brett?
Yeah, I mean, C.
Yeah, same.
Which,
yeah. Well, thank you all for joining me to talk about this movie that's a movie.
We loved it. Such a good movie.
Thank you all for listening. If you liked Slayerfest 98, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can subscribe to us on Patreon, where we have gone through What If and are on Harley Quinn Season 3, and we will eventually be going to Batman the Animated Series and X-Men the Animated Series. I've made that official, I've decided, and I'm very excited, because I was like, let me make it two things I fucking love.
You have to do X-Men animated series before X-Men 97 comes out.
I know, but I'm never going to finish it in time, which
Oh my
I was
God.
like...
You definitely could do it.
You think so?
Yes.
You know you're going to have to get the Lewalds.
Oh, I've already had them on. Yeah, they're fucking great.
Oh,
yes.
that's right. Oh, that's right. You did do it. I love the Lewalds.
They're so nice. And if you want to follow us on social, we are at SlayerFestX98 on all platforms. And if you want to follow me, I'm at ENXCarlos on all platforms. Brett, where can everyone find you when you're writing?
You can read what I write at decider.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brett White. And you can also follow my drag career at Barb Hardley on Instagram.
Is that your name?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm in drag right now. I've been in drag the whole
more.
time.
Barb Hardley.
Wait.
At Barb Hardley.
Are you really in drag right now?
Yeah, because I'm doing Must Have Seen TV right after this.
Oh my God.
And I haven't slipped into Barb's accent once. Oh God.
Alex, where can everyone find you when you're writing?
I'm at Vox. I am not in drag. Makes me sad, but that's less impressive.
Brandon, where can everyone find you when you're writing?
You can find me on all social media as Brandon T Snider, but Lazarus Planet Next Evolution #1 from DC Comics is getting its second printing, so you can find my writing in that.
Hey, congrats. It's going to second printing. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.